2.5.
Hold the mic up, Jim.
Shut up, Stasko. They gave it to me, buddy. I guess it was about, I don't even know, 3 weeks ago or something like that, I get a call from Dan Baradat. And he says, I live in Idaho. I'm in Moore, Idaho. So I get a call from Dan, and he says, hey, they called me and they want me to say something about you at this thing coming up. And so I just thought, is there anything you want me to say? And I said, Mike, I said, Dan, what are you talking about? And he said, well, the ceremony coming up. What ceremony? Haven't they called you? I said, no, I haven't heard anything from anybody. I'd never heard of this program. So I'm really excited to be here since I just learned about it a couple weeks ago. And actually be the recipient of the award. This is getting better all the time. But, some of you know Kevin Burney. He was a good buddy of mine, my class. And I don't know where I was when I got that call, but Kevin calls me and told me that St. Mary's had dropped football again. And I went, oh, man, that's no good. And he says, yeah, but Dad, think of this. Your records are on ice. And this is proof, Like you said, our committee's not going to get any bigger, but these records will never be broken. And it's a wonderful thing for some of us. But I am deeply humbled. I figured things must be really slow at the school here. They got to call some guy who graduated 50 years ago and give him an award. Not too much happening and stuff. But I tell you what, Coach Mack absolutely. Coach Mack was a great friend. He said some of the most wonderful things about me. Never to me. He never said anything to me. Hey, you look like you were dogging it on that sprint, But he told other players, and I found out, from other guys, Coach Mack said this about you, and he said that about you. And I just learned last night at a dinner that he was the head coach at SI. I didn't know that. I thought we could be friends. Shoot. But, of course, we got Mike from Reardon. But, okay. But some of the things that I wanted to say, though, about this today is any running back, anybody who's carried the ball, carried the mail, as they call it, it don't happen by yourself. It's not all about you. You can't do it. Because there's 11 people on the other side of that line would like to crush your skull. And you need help. And one thing that I wish I had been more involved in was thanking linemen. And thanking, absolutely, you're right. Thanking the linemen, thanking everybody that ever laid a block for me, because I still hold to this today that the first 2 to 3 yards that any back gains is credit to the line. Am I right? Absolutely. Nobody did it on their own. The line has to get you past that defense and hopefully into the secondary. That'd be great, but at least to the linebackers. And I give that credit to the linemen and sometimes it's a slot man or a wide receiver cracking back, which you can't do anymore. Crack back. Haven't they just ruined football? Never mind. But I give credit to those people, those men that block, that pave the way for guys like me behind you, carrying the ball. Couldn't be done without any of you, and I give you that credit, and I just want you to know that I appreciate it and have never forgotten. Thank you. Okay. And just for curiosity's sake, a lot of people are going, what's with the hat and the boots? Who is this guy? You know, and people have asked me, so I said I'd share it. And I was born in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Going back to the beginning, yeah, a lot of people just turned off right there. I was born in Lake Charles, Louisiana. My father and my parents were sharecroppers. They were farmers. Business got bad, I guess, somewhere around 54 or whatever, and they moved to San Francisco. And if you know anything about Louisiana, it's 98 point something percent Catholics. And so when I come here, Mom was happy that I could go to Catholic school. So I went to St. Peter's and St. Michael's, and then Sacred Heart and St. Mary's. And so that's how I ended up in the city. But everything I had ever done was geared towards someday owning a cattle ranch. And so first opportunity I had, I bought a cattle ranch in Arizona. We actually ran 500 head of mother cows and did that for a lot of years. That's why the hat and the boots, and because that's who I really are. Okay. Being in the city and a city boy for a while was my other, what do you call that? I don't know, the other program I was involved in at the time. But that's why that. But I'm just a regular guy like the rest of you and know a lot about cowboys. So does Gabe. Where did he go? Gabe, he and I were talking about cowboys are some of the toughest people you ever meet. And that's a fact. I mean, and I know that because I'll tell you another quick little story. I played rugby for, I think, a total of 14 years, everything involved. The last 7 years I played for Coronado Rugby Club out of San Diego. If you know anything about Coronado, that's the home base for the Navy SEALs, West Coast Navy SEALs. So I had a friend tell me about this team, so I went out, and turned out 95% of that team were Navy SEALs, and the other 5% were naval aviators, and then there was me. And but we hit it off. Those are still my closest friends today, some of my closest brothers, and we had a lot of things in common. But one of the strongest things, and that this is really what my message is that I saw a lot of SEALs, just tough guys, but they'd hit a point in their life when they said, I'm old. And you'd see things change in months. The shoulders would start to slope, and all of a sudden all the aches and pains would come up on them, and they would just start setting themselves up to die. It's what I've witnessed. So I've become a proponent of not looking back, not remembering the past and enjoying it at times like this, but not living there. I strive to continuously move forward. I strive to continually challenge myself. It hurts, like pumping weights, right, Mike? We're pumping weights, and we're going to get back to 200 pounds on the bench. If it kills us, it might, but things that most people, like I say, my age won't do. But we get into that thing about, gosh, I'm getting old, I got to take it easy. Don't do that. Keep pushing. Yeah, it hurts. Heck yeah. I mean, so change. I couldn't do the heavyweight anymore, so I took dumbbells and do, high reps and burnouts and that kind of stuff. Don't quit. Don't give in. My wife has my phone. Shoot. I had a poem in it that I was going to recite. That's okay. I told her to keep it. But I guess that, 2 weeks ago, my wife and I we have one of them side-by-side, Polaris off-road deal, 4-seater. And my neighbor in Idaho, they're all younger than us, his whole family, and they invited us to go on this 4-day trip through the mountains in the ATVs. And we had, heck yeah, camping out, sleeping on the ground, I can do that. Shoot, I've done that a lot. Man, after that first night, I was dying. I was like, my God. And the next day we we made it into a little town, and I was in the store trying to find an air mattress, and they didn't have any, so I bought this little swimming pool floaty, all pink and blue and everything. But I slept better that night, do you have that? This is my wife, Robin, you guys. I'm sorry, excuse me. One, is that it? Yeah. This is something, there was a fellow named Ben Billingsley. He was my mentor when it come to cattle. And he was known for, they said there was nobody in Arizona that knew more about making money on cattle than Ben. And that was my mentor. And when he died, they asked me to speak. And I recited this at that ceremony. But I think it's really appropriate right now for us. The ages that we're at. Some of you, are going to be there. You're not there yet. But the ages that we're at. And it goes like this. You may have heard it. It says, life should not be a journey to the grave with the intention of arriving safely in a pretty and well-preserved body, but rather to skid in broadside in a cloud of smoke, leaking oil, thoroughly used up, totally worn out, and loudly proclaiming, "Yeehaw! What a ride!" That's my tribute to you, and I say go for it.